Mayweather is like the
He's
best.
a kickboxer fighting a boxer in a boxing match.
Yeah, well, a lot of people don't know that McGregor was a boxer initially, and then he swapped over to MMA for it, you know. But like, it was a hype fight. People, you know, I didn't feel like I wasted my money ordering it. It was only like here's the thing that's going to drive the American listeners crazy. It was only like €23 here. It wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't like $120, which is absolutely insane. That's madness. You know, wow.
That's like a week's worth of rent for most people.
Yeah.
You know?
That's, you know, I'm sorry. It's unless McGregor or Mayweather came over and like hung out with you for a little bit, it's not worth $100.
There'd probably be tickets coming with that pay-per-view buy.
Yeah. Yeah, you want, you know, like meet and greet tickets for a wrestling show, you know, or about that, you know? So no, to heck with that. That's ridiculous money. No way. More, as we say over here, more money than sense for anyone who paid $100 to go see it. But the gate was apparently 80 million. McGregor got 30 million, and Mayweather made about guts of 100 million. So
yeah, that makes sense.
A lot of dollar bills have been made this weekend, and you know, fair play to the lads.
Both of them that can retire for the rest of their lives.
Well, I don't think Conor can yet because he has a couple of fights left in his UFC contract. But after that,
yeah, no, but I mean, like, you know, he could quit. He could break his contract, and he'd still be able to live.
Yeah, like definitely.
The rest of his life.
You know, I don't think he has anything left to prove. You know, I don't like Conor McGregor, the character, but for the first time, I actually respected the guy. Because after the fight, you know, I have to hand it to Floyd Mayweather. I don't like Floyd Mayweather either, but at least he punched that stupid accent.
I think there's more reasons to dislike Mayweather than there is McGregor.
Oh yeah, of course. But at least, but hold on. The thing about it is, at least Floyd Mayweather punched that stupid accent out of Conor McGregor, where he just started speaking like a normal Dublin person. Which I'm like, oh, there you are, grand. You're actually talking normally.
I think, especially when Conor was just thrust on, someone got into his head about going, like, speak slower because people won't understand you.
Yeah,
and
it's so off-putting when he speaks in that way. You know, it was.
I think, especially with this build-up and stuff, I think he's found a way to speak where people can understand him, and him, like even in the build-up and stuff like that, he was being a lot more loose.
Yeah.
With with his diction.
Yeah.
Than he had been for UFC fights.
Yeah, definitely. You know, and I was actually talking to Adam Martin today, and he was saying that, you know, when Conor was speaking, you know, after the fight, you know, I could get most of it, but some of it was kind of fast. So I guess we're just really used to it. But like the thing of it is, it's so weird to hear an Irish person speak that way. And it's almost off-putting, you know.
But I think that speaks to how thick his accent is, that he has to do that.
Yeah,
you know. It's like I've heard people say, like I've heard like even English people talk about Seamus, who has a Dublin accent, and go like, I can't understand what he says.
Really, Seamus? You know? Although Seamus is quite neutral, I'd imagine.
He's pretty Dublin.
Yeah, but like I don't know,
like Finn Balor is neutral.
Yeah, Finn's very neutral, but then people say Finn's boring, so you can't have it anyway, guys. You know.
Yeah, well, like poor Finn.
Poor Finn. We will talk about that because it's sad time. But you know, listen, the thing about McGregor is, you know, it was if he had won, it would have done more damage to boxing, and boxing probably never would have recovered because of what it would have represented.
Well, I mean, like I think if he won, it would have been it would have been the end of boxing. Yeah. Like 100%. It would have just gone, well, like, look, the money is now actually in MMA.
Yeah. So, you know, I think it was more symbolic than anything else. And it was interesting, you know, it was one of those unique fights that, you know, people are like, oh, it's horrible that this fight happened. It's like, no, this is interesting, you know, this is what got everybody talking. It's captured the world's imagination. You know, it's more interesting. This was more interesting to me than seeing CM Punk fight and get destroyed in the ring in like a round.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah, but the thing is, they're still legit fighters, and it's like it was the only money fight left for Mayweather.
Yeah,
really.
yeah, and like they both cleaned up, and you know, McGregor had a good time, you know, as much as you can getting the head boxed off you, but you know,
but I mean, like even in his post-fight interview, he seemed kind of like I think he took the loss well, because he was like, well, this isn't my forte, and you know, I to do as well. I did well, not as well as I wanted to do, but at least I made him fight me.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and that's the thing. Mayweather didn't look like he had it easy for the first couple of rounds, and then once McGregor was gassed, you know, it's the Homer Simpson versus Frederick Tatum thing, you know, where it's like he's not going to get tired. I have to knock him out, and then, you know. The only thing,
Mayweather take being hit by a surgical 2x4 all day without falling down.
The only thing that it was missing was Mo coming in with the
Dana White.
Dana White, yes. Oh my God, that should have happened. That would have been a phenomenal ending to that fight. Yeah, guys. So you know, I know
that would have been the best wrestling finish in a non-wrestling match ever.
To be fair, though, it was fierce. It was fierce wrestling, though. Like, you know, it was the most wrestling build-up ending ever. You know, like I was expecting a run-in to happen at some point, because it's like, I don't know.
What's Manny Pacquiao doing here?
Oh, whose side is he on? Oh my gosh. You know, they should have done that just for the laugh, because those commentators were atrocious. You know, absolutely no banter at all. Like, they're just like, we're just gonna badmouth Conor for like the whole time, and you know, I'm not a fan of Conor McGregor, and I'm just like, guys, this is a bit much. You know, just lay back a little bit. You know, but I think boxing should learn from this, because if they let go,
UFC's been outclassing them for ages in building up fights.
Yeah, and you know, this was more WWE than UFC even goes, and I think they learned. Look, hey, if you build up a fight and have a bit of showmanship, you're gonna make an awful lot more money than two lads just going in with no quote unquote characters and punching for
maybe bring a dumpster truck full of money up to Mauro Ranallo's house to get him away from WWE, because you know,
they need a commentator.
He was great.
Yeah, they need a commentator who's actually good.
Mauro did such a great job.
Yeah, Mauro's incredible. You know, he's one of the best commentators in the world. Or even, you know, Mike Goldberg, because he can build.
Oh yeah, Mike Goldberg's great. But like Mike's been, he has been great all the time.
Yeah, Mike's never been bad, you know. And it's cool thing about UFC. You can, no matter when you dip your toes in, you're always going to have that familiarity, and you're like, oh, cool. Well, at least the packaging is similar. You can get into it, you know. But UFC is where the money's at. Boxing had a great night, but you know, if they don't adapt a little bit,
if they don't adapt it, like, I mean, their biggest star, the biggest star in all of boxing is retiring.
Yeah, exactly. It's
you know, and there's really no one left in the entire sport.
Yeah, who has that kind of draw power?
Who's gonna come into it? I mean, like, granted, there's not too many other people in UFC right now who are as big a draw as McGregor.
Yeah.
You know, and one of them just can't seem to just stop taking the juice. Like
John Jones. Yeah, man. He yeah. I don't know what his manager says, but his manager should be like, "Listen, man, just stop it," you know, because you're gonna ruin your career. Stop it. Get some help, you know, because you need it.
No more steroids for you, John Jones. No. You've had yours.
You've had yours.
Give it to Brian Cage. He needs some more.
Oh God, yeah. Like, not even touching that with a 10-foot pole, because that's a train wreck in and of itself. You know, John Jones, one of the best UFC fighters in history, and he keeps messing up his career by taking dump truckloads of steroids. And that's not speculation. That's truth. The man keeps taking steroids.
Like, one of my favorite things to see is, like, every time that John Jones gets a suspension, Matt Riddle, the former UFC fighter, now pro wrestler, goes like, yeah, it's funny how they keep him around, but I got fired for smoking weed.
Yeah, well,
and I had a prescription.
like, yeah, maybe he should call Jeff Hardy and find out what happened to him, because good old Jeff. He's been there. He bought the T-shirt, Victory Road 2009. Not a good time for anybody. But moving swiftly on, before we get into the absolute train wreck that was SummerSlam 2017, need to talk about something that I just don't understand, and I hope you can help me here. Why is Eli Drake the Global Force Wrestling Champion?
Because...
No, why? Eli Drake, I don't understand.
That's how barren the wasteland that is GFW
the wasteland
has become.
But, Eli Drake...
It's either Eli Drake or Bobo Lashley. Which would you rather?
Well...
Those are your choices.
It wasn't...
Enjoy your choices.
Eddie Edwards? Why not go with Eddie Edwards again?
But...
it was a gauntlet match. It's a gauntlet match.
Look where it got him. Nowhere.
No, but it was a gauntlet match, and, it was just filled with jobbers. Suicide was even there. Come on!
The mark of a very poor match. Suicide.
Well, Johnny Impact was there, who was Johnny Mundo, who's Johnny Nitro, who is fired from most companies he's in. I know. I like Johnny Mundo, but yeah. Oh, God. Why did they do a gauntlet match? I don't understand the logic behind it. It's we have nobody. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put a multi-man match on.
We're just gonna expose how much nothing we have.
Yeah. They're only short of putting a mask on other lads and just sending them out again and be like, go on, there you go. He's a different guy now. It's no. It's so bad.
Who's this? It's Slash Bobbly.
It's Slash Bobbly. Oh, God. Yeah, terrible. So Eli Drake is now, in theory, the second biggest champion in professional wrestling now, in Global Force Wrestling.
In American professional wrestling.
Yes, well, sadly, New Japan,
and
as much as it draws, we have to keep it in context here with, our North American and European. Yeah.
But the thing is that I would highly dispute whether it is or not, just because.
Well, by default. By default.
How many people go to GFW shows? About 500.
Yeah.
How many people go to Ring of Honor? About 2,000.
Okay. Well, as far as international and internet exposure, GFW, you can actually watch over here.
I think in the scheme of things, it's the third or fourth.
Yeah. Well, look, they certainly look like it now. This is not... Why do they keep making the same mistakes over and over again?
Because they're morons.
But they got rid of Dixie. They got a new start. They were, going to do all these things. And they're just making the same mistakes over and over again. And Eli Drake...
Again, they're like WWE, where they make the same mistakes over and over again because learning curves are for morons.
But there's a picture of him on WrestleView right now, and there is a big stupid face on him, and he looks like he's not going to draw a dime. So,
yeah, but again, how many? The thing is, in the history of TNA, how many of their champions have actually been draws? None of them.
Jeff Jarrett, Raven.
An actual
AJ?
Draw.
Well, okay. The only time they've actually drawn was Kurt Angle versus Samoa Joe.
So one show.
One show. That's it. That's the only time they've actually...
Come on, man. One show.
Actually, I have to give a shout out to...
In 2008.
Hold on.
9 years ago.
I have to give a shout out to the OSW lads. They're now on their Black Rain arc in TNA.
Oh, God.
Fantastic. Oh, man. Great show. Brilliant lads.
Those poor bastards.
Check it out. Look, no, man, I'm envious. Because I was actually in the Impact Zone the week before that show, before Hard Justice.
But Black Rain sucked.
It was awesome. It was terrible.
So bad.
Do you not remember Relic or Killer?
Yeah, of course I do. I felt bad for the guy under the mask.
Oh.
Like, he's actually decent. Like, the gimmick sucks, but he's decent.
I don't know, man. I thought it was great. I thought it was a fantastic gimmick. You know, and then you had Andrew the Punisher Martin
For 1 month.
for 1 month.
In a steel cage match where the first person who bleeds can once you start bleeding, you can be pinned.
That's the only way to win. Yeah, it's the only way to win. Oh man, I tell you, like, but the thing about it is, they had a little bit of an up there for a while, and now they're back in the doldrums. Like TNA, Global Force Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, you know, WCW, it's all pretty much the same now. Huh?
Like the problem is, like, TNA does a really good job for like a month and then pay for it for 5 months.
Yeah.
And then do a really good month again, and you kind of go, oh, maybe you get, and then it's just another 5 months of terrible stuff. Like,
but it's not even kind of terrible. It's atrocious. Like,
oh yeah,
Eli Drake is the champion. Like, he is the face of the company. What? Like, okay, fair enough. People go, but Dara, Jinder Mahal is yeah. Okay, listen, Jinder Mahal has done things, and it's kind of interesting. You know who Jinder Mahal is? He's the funny one from 3MB. Eli Drake is nothing. You know, he's not the funny one. He's not anything. He wasn't in the greatest 3-man rock band of all time. Ah, God.
Like, no, not everyone can be in the President of the United States of America, Dara. Come on.
That's true. That's true. But, like, oh man, listen, I don't know. Look, Jim Cornette is in GFW now for some reason as well, and it just makes no sense. I don't know what they're doing. They're just it seems like they're just throwing so much garbage at the wall, hoping something sticks, and then hopefully they get
That's what TNA does.
Yeah, but they're not TNA anymore. They're not supposed to be. They're supposed to be this Global Force Wrestling thing.
They don't look. They may not be TNA, but they look like TNA. They stink like TNA, and they book like TNA. So I'm gonna keep calling them TNA.
Oh man, even literally changing the name, basically going out of business, being saved at the 11th hour, they still do the exact same things, you know. And
like
at least their website is
talent, man. I mean, it's hard to.
Well, look, at least their website is up to date this time. They don't have like random people who left like 3 years ago still on the roster. So there is that, you know. At least they're paying their webmaster. You know, unless
are they though?
I don't know. It could just be JB like on WordPress, just like, you know.
Like, but the thing is, like, I'd say like the webmaster is probably the guy who works for Anthem,
Rusty,
and isn't being paid by them.
Rusty.
So,
do you think it's Rusty? They thought of web development?
No, because it's competently done. It's not Rusty. Like, Rusty tries, and it's adorable, but he's not good at his job. Like,
oh man. Well, don't worry, you haven't got there yet. But you know, they're training in Rusty to handle web development. So, you know. Oh man. But anyway, shifting gears onto a real company who also delivered an atrocious. Like, I don't know, guys. You know, with the exception of the Conor McGregor fight, things are bad. Things are really bad in wrestling. Like we had SummerSlam, right, which is mini WrestleMania 2, and that is killing this show for me. It's 5 hours long, 8 hours if you really want to.
It's 6 hours if you watch the full 2-hour pre-show.
Oh, and then you have another 2 hours as well if you want to watch the post shows. Like, who wants to watch any of that?
It's too much. It's too much wrestling over way too much of a time. Like I saw a thing on Botchamania where he condensed the card down to like the half decent matches, and it was like actually where he got like you even put in the match times where it was like around like 2.5 hours long. It's like this would have been a good show.
Yeah, like back in the day, you know, in the Attitude Era, and even in 2000s and the 90s, you know, like absence makes the heart grow fonder. Less is more. Less is really more.
But like, you don't even have to go back that far. You can just go back to the night before with NXT, which was a 2.5-hour long show,
and that was great.
And
it was perfect.
Yeah,
but like it seemed
every match went as long as it needed to go, and they like. I mean, the worst match on the show was enjoyable.
It's not even the match. It's not even the matches, though, dude. It's just the quantity of wrestling. Like, I get it. You know, if you like, okay, hold on. I understand from one perspective where you're like, oh, Dara, but you're getting more wrestling if you're there, or you're getting more wrestling for your book. It's like, yeah, but listen, if you're funneling garbage, I don't want any garbage. I just, you know, you can give me all of it in the world. I still don't want it. You know, it's
like
it's a bad idea.
Like the one thing that I came away from that show, after watching it, was as long as it was, it's like it really speaks to how good the main event was.
Yeah,
that it still was enjoyable after like sitting through like. And the thing is, like, most of the matches I didn't think were actually that bad. It was just that, like, there was just so many matches.
Yeah.
And
like the commentary team is better. You know, it's at least you can actually like stomach it. But
like it's so hard. Like it's so hard to like in any kind of performance. It's so hard to pace yourself for that time, for that length and that runtime.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't know what they're thinking by going, oh, we're going to do these huge extravagant shows, because it's not. Like,
well, look.
It's not, it doesn't benefit anyone.
There was 13 matches on this card, including the pre-show, right? And I have to say, I was surprised to see who was on the pre-show. You know, the Usos and the New Day.
Yeah.
That's kind of bad, you know?
Almost every match that was on the pre-show probably shouldn't have been. Like the
Hardys. The Hardys
why did they have the Hardys wrestle in front of 50 people?
Yeah, what was the point of that, you know? It's not like they're in the doghouse.
The Neville Tozawa match was outstanding.
Of course it was. It was a cruiserweight match. You know? Where they're allowed to go out and be cruiserweights.
Yeah.
You know?
But, I mean, like, those two guys are so good at what they do.
Yeah.
But, like...
Well, look, I'm going to quickly run down the card, and then we'll talk about it. So, I'm going to include the pre-show here, because, you know, in case you guys didn't see it. So, we had The Miz and The Miztourage, and they defeated the Hardy Boys, and then Jason Jordan. So, a 6-man tag team match. Bodas and Curtis Axel were also in that match. We had Neville defeated Akira Tozawa with Titus O'Neil, and that was for the Cruiserweight title. The Usos defeated New Day for the WWE SmackDown Tag Team Championship. John Cena defeated Baron Corbin in a match that was designed solely to punish Baron Corbin. Natalya defeated Naomi for the WWE SmackDown Women's Championship. Big Kaz defeated The Big Show and blew out his knee in the process. Randy Orton defeated Rusev in a singles match, which wasn't really a match. Sasha Banks defeated Alexa Bliss for the WWE Women's Raw Championship. Finn Balor defeated Bray Wyatt in a singles match. Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins defeated Cesaro and Sheamus for the WWE Tag Team Championship on Raw. AJ Styles and Kevin Owens, man, this is a long card. AJ Styles defeated Kevin Owens for the WWE United States Championship with Shane McMahon as special guest referee. Jinder Mahal and the Singh Brothers defeated Shinsuke Nakamura for the WWE Championship. And finally, Brock Lesnar with Paul Heyman defeated Roman Reigns, Samoa Joe, and Braun Strowman in a Fatal 4-Way match for the WWE Universal Championship. That is 13 matches, a lot of which were absolutely wastes of time. Where do you want to start first?
Well, let's start at the beginning, I suppose. Like, I mean, again, there's not, like, I don't understand why the Hardys and Jordan was that early in the show.
Well, look, I think it was to just get them a paycheck.
Yep. But like, it's such a waste of the Hardys.
Well,
and a waste of the Miz as well.
Well, they did the same with the Dudleys at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
You know, it's like they're...
No, it's not the first time they did it, but, like, I mean, especially with... Like, I mean, the Hardys make them money.
Yeah.
You know? Like, it's
well, hold on. What's our rule? If it's fun and unique... and
interesting, then don't do it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the rule of thumb here, you know? It's like, you guys have a card? Oh, no. Go out there and wrestle in front of 50 people.
Yeah.
You know, we have
You
to.
worked in TNA. You'll be used to those numbers in this size arena.
Yeah, you know, we have to save time for Big Cass and the Big Show because that's important. That's what everybody wants to see.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, like I really liked the Tozawa Neville match.
Yeah,
Fantastic,
great.
really good. Solid 12 minutes.
There's not really much to say about the story. It's always great. You know, like Neville. I kind of scratched my head about why they just put it back onto Neville, but you know what? I mean,
it was what it was. Yeah, you know, like it is what it is. It was what it was. You know, all those cliches. I liked it. I thought it was fun, interesting, and very unlike WWE. The same can't really be said for the next match because we've just seen it so many times that it's not interesting anymore. You know, I don't want to see the Usos and the New Day go against each other anymore. I'm sick of it.
The right team won is the positive from it.
Yeah.
And it was like you can't say the match wasn't good. It was, you know, like those teams have good chemistry together.
Yeah, like it's at the point now where the Usos
they've traded the title so many times this last meeting.
Yeah, like the Usos.
It's like when Charlotte and Sasha earlier this year were trading the title back and forth.
WWE overexposed the best things that they have.
Yeah,
you know.
They do this so often.
Dude, it's a mixture of like 3 or 4 things. The main 2 being constant 50-50 booking and the fact there's just so much programming that they need to fill.
Yeah. Also the fact that like you have a now 73-year-old man just going, who's the champion? Oh, change it. I'll be exciting for the audience. Kevin, suck my dick. You know, that's what it is now.
Well, oh man. I'm glad we're past the watershed. Yeah, it's not good. WWE, it's a good way to kill your audience, and they're very slowly doing that. Like, here's the thing: you can comfortably not watch any wrestling for a month and come in and watch the show, and then be like, well, I didn't miss anything because you didn't. You know, 50-50, both guys are even. The only person who isn't booked 50-50 is coming up next, and that's John Cena.
Yeah, well, this is
the killer of pushes.
This was a very interesting match to watch.
Like John Cena, the killer of pushes, the man with no gimmick, the man who will destroy your rub in.
Did you
10
hear
minutes.
what he said during the match?
No, I didn't, but I'm assuming it's something dill-holish.
Oh boy!
Like, here's the thing. Before you say it, like. John Cena, why is he still around? Why is he still taking the push away from guys? Like, has he not ruined enough careers? Like, don't get me wrong, right? John Cena has his place in the WWE Hall of Fame. As sickening as that is for me to admit, the man kills careers, and he's like, I get that Baron Corbin says some really dumb stuff on Twitter, but it's Twitter. People say dumb stuff on Twitter all the time. That's what it's there for. You know?
The thing is that Corbin has. It's not so much that he said dumb things. It's like the consistency and who he says them to is the problem.
Just don't let him on Twitter.
Extraordinarily thin skin when it comes to people criticizing his work.
Yeah, just don't let him on Twitter. Like, it's kind of cool. Listen, man, you're a child. You're not allowed on Twitter. Bold. Yeah. That's all you have to do. It's like don't go on Twitter. That's all you have to do. Just stop doing it. You know.
But the thing is that Cena was really was ripping into him in the match to say how long have you been in this business? Do you really think you get to talk to people like that? You know,
jeez.
It wasn't good. I think, but even when Cena, even in the build up to this, Cena was saying things. It was cutting promos that you don't usually get from him.
Yeah,
he was saying things that to really kind of bury Corbin.
This was a punishment match. That's all.
The thing is, you can kind of go oh, he ruins careers, but in the last couple of years, he's how many people has he put over clean? Daniel Bryan, Shinsuke Nakamura.
Hold on, Daniel Bryan put himself over. Hold on. If Daniel Bryan did not win that match, there would have been a riot in the building.
Yeah.
Okay. Shinsuke, fair enough. He put him over, but
Cena let him win clean.
Yeah.
At that time, he hadn't done that for a decade.
Well, it also helps that he's doing the business with Daniel Bryan's wife, sister.
Yeah.
He's hardly gonna because he'd get it in the neck from his girlfriend. So you kind of have to call a spade a spade.
Again, my point is he let him win clean. He also let Kevin Owens win clean. Let Shinsuke Nakamura a couple weeks ago win clean.
He let Kevin Owens win clean, but then very quickly got his 2 wins back.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, absolutely. But the point remains is that it's not like. It's but if he's willing to do it for guys like Owens, why won't he do it for Corbin? Maybe it's because Corbin is actually just not really meant to be in wrestling.
Well, to be honest with you, I think it's because I see a lot of similarities between John Cena and Baron Corbin. I see an awful lot of similarities between the two, and I think John Cena is threatened by Baron Corbin because, if you think about it, if people who are probably like, oh, John Cena, read JTG's book, and you'll get a window into what kind of guy John Cena is actually like. But when the smile comes away and it's behind cameras, I wouldn't be surprised that the vindictive stories are true. And I'm just speculating here, but judging on this match and the way he disrespected Baron Corbin, it's like you're not recovering from that. Baron Corbin's finished. He is done. Absolutely done. Unless he comes back with some sort of gimmick change or whatever, he's finished, man.
Baron Corbin should go back underneath the mask, dude.
Yeah. No, you literally took the words in my mouth. I was going to say that.
No,
I think
for me, it would come back under mask because Baron Corbin has the most unconvincing facial expressions for someone who's trying to compete in a fight.
What you can do is, right, you can give him the Kane treatment. You put him under the mask, you give him a gimmick. Yeah, it doesn't matter what it is.
Give him a consistent gimmick, not just a ransom note of character things.
Yes.
Why does a lone wolf have a finishing move? Why does a lone wolf who likes riding motorbikes have a finishing move called the End of Days?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
None of those things make sense together. There's no dots to join.
No, give him the Kane
between those 3 points.
Give him the Kane treatment. It could be
absolutely.
Because the Kane gimmick is stupid. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But it worked because it was consistent for a very long time. Now, at the end there, the wheels kind of fell off. But, after 15 years, the wheels are going to fall off pretty much everything. But, it was still consistent.
Once you take the amount of twists and turns that Kane's character took, it's kind of hard.
Exactly. But, still, that gave him a career. Because remember, before he was in WWE as Kane, he was there as Isaac Yankem. He was there as Fake Diesel. None of this worked. And I think Baron Corbin can use this as a... Look, there's two or three purposes here. One, it gives him a restart. You do not have to reference that that's Baron Corbin. Two, if it's a mask gimmick, he will shut the heck up and not say anything. Because, no Twitter. Kane didn't have a Twitter back then. I know there was no Twitter, but, he didn't say anything for years.
The best thing about the Twitter things was someone criticized Corbin, and Corbin was like, "Oh, who are you? What have you done in this business?" I've been in this business for 30 years.
Exactly.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir.
Yeah, ridiculous. It's real 101. And you should learn that. It's a shame that if Taker still had been full time, that would have went into the wrestler's court.
But moving on from that, what was the next match?
Oh, the next one was awful. I was going to use a swear word there, but, I can't. Yeah. Natalya defeated Naomi, and Christ, I dislike both of these because they're both bland and awful.
Yeah.
So,
it was
terrible.
Natalya has no excuse for not being better.
No. And look, here's the thing. It's stupid having 2 women's divisions. It's stupid having 2 tag divisions. Just make one for each. It'll make your card way stronger and make it far more competitive. I don't know, I get the brand extension is changed stuff over, but just have one and then jump between shows. It would make things way easier, and it would actually, or even just bring them together for pay-per-views. Listen, right? WWE SmackDown vs. Raw 2007. Yeah. Those big pay-per-views, like the SummerSlam, the Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, they were inter-promotional shows, okay? Like this one. And the whole point of those was you'd have brands facing off against each other. Why not just do that?
Because I think that they don't want to do that too early. so that people think. Because, like, one of the big problems they had was that after a couple of years of brand extension, they were like, oh, we'll just do a feud now. We're like, this isn't going to work very well because we're going to have to go back to that well all the time. It became, that's how bragging rights became a thing. And those shows sucked.
They did, no, but I'm not talking about, like, a SmackDown versus Raw kind of show. I mean, like, on the smaller shows you have titles, right? But then on the bigger shows, the two champions face each other, and then they're like the Universal Champion. And see, WWE with their stupid names, they've ruined everything. But you know, like the WWE main champion or whatever, and those belts are defended at the big shows, and in that way, the matches mean something instead of just having throwaway matches that mean absolutely nothing. 4 times a year, have those belts because
that requires like effort and long-term booking.
But at least it means something, dude.
A company that's been well documented changes most of their show ideas a couple hours before the show.
Dude, we had 4 matches for 4 champions that meant nothing.
Yeah.
You know, the next match is a prime example. It wasn't for a championship, meant nothing, and then the match after it meant even less. Big Cass versus the Big Show. I thought the Big Show was dead. You know, I was like, oh, he's back. Oh well, okay. I don't care about this at all. And then what's worse, Big Cass.
Oh my God.
Sorry, go on.
Enzo was friggin' awful in this.
Yeah, Enzo's. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if we heard he was getting his walking papers because he was just god awful, terrible, absolutely atrocious.
He didn't even sell the cage.
No.
Anyway, he didn't seem concerned. He didn't seem afraid. He didn't.
No, he was just like, it's a cage. I'm happy here, which is not what you want. It was supposed to be terrifying. You're supposed to sell it like Jericho sold it, or the way Jerry King Lawler sold it back in the day. You know, it's like you have one job. You have one job, Enzo.
The entire time watching this match, because I only just recently watched the Simon Gotch interview, which I highly recommend. It was the shoot interview he did for RF Video. It's so good.
Right.
But oh my God, he went on such a rant about Enzo. I don't know if you caught it.
I haven't seen it. No, I haven't seen it, but I will check it out.
Yeah. Oh my God. Like he basically just buried the crap out of him. He was there saying like first, like he basically started off his tirade by saying like, you know, that Enzo is a guy who has no excuse to not know about wrestling because he's from New Jersey, and what does New Jersey have more than almost anywhere else in the country? Wrestling schools.
Yeah.
But he only started wrestling when he got to the Performance Center. Jeez. You know? And like saying,
I'm not shocked, man.
I don't know if you watched NXT when Enzo broke his leg.
Yeah, I did.
Do you know how he did that?
How?
He tried to get out of a wrist lock.
How do you break your leg trying to get out of a wrist lock?
Yeah, I really want to know. Apparently
so
that's
what?
Happened.
How does that even work?
Yeah.
Oh man.
But like God was talking about when he you know, that like the infamous thing, like the infamous spot where he was supposed to go over the top rope and he didn't. He was supposed to be thrown over the top rope and he didn't.
Yeah.
So then he just threw himself out over it.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was there going like, yeah, Enzo's the kind of guy where that he'll do that and then he wouldn't understand why he did anything wrong. You know, like.
You know, this is the danger. This is the danger of having lads that don't know how to work.
No, but like the thing is like Enzo understands, because like Enzo understands psychology enough to sell.
Yeah, but selling isn't everything. You know, this is what
like,
you.
But like he understands psychology well enough to sell getting hit, and he does that really, really well.
Yeah, but this used to annoy me when people would talk about. But people would talk about John Cena phrases that he's a great seller.
Yeah,
but selling's only half
like
the job.
Anything above like basic things, like you have to take the heat.
Yeah.
You have to like. You know, like you're in there with a bigger person, they're gonna kick the crap out of you. He can understand that, and then anything more than that, he doesn't understand at all.
But here's the thing, you know, they were a package deal. Big Cass helped Enzo as much as Enzo helped Big Cass. Since the breakup, they've been bad, and Big Cass' leg now is in bits, so he's gone for like at least 6 months to a year. Big Show's...
Yeah, well, that's good for... honestly, like, as terrible as it is, it's probably better for him because it means that he can come back. He can come back and actually kind of allow the stink from this feud to kind of dissipate.
Yeah, like I don't foresee Enzo being there when he gets back either.
No.
So
no, I don't think Enzo's long for this world at all.
No, he might end up being TNA GFW champion soon, though. Oh god!
He could end up being a lot of things very soon.
Yeah. Well, speaking of somebody who news came out that they asked for the walking papers, Randy Orton defeated Rusev, and it appears that Rusev and Lana are on the way out of WWE. It
wouldn't surprise me. I mean,
dude, that's what the news said. Well, the news, the dirt said. It's making its round around the internet.
People have been contesting the source on that for a good while, but
I believe it. A 10-second defeat.
Yeah.
Come on, that's.
It's such a waste of Rusev. He's so talented.
He is, but he did not help himself at all. Like, he did everything you can possibly do wrong.
Yeah. He had the audacity to marry a girl hotter than him.
Well,
what a dick.
Well, we can't begrudge him that. But here's the thing. Well, look, at least if he gets
there's definitely people in that company who would.
Yeah. Well, look, if he gets fired from WWE or leaves WWE, at least he's married to Lana, and hey, isn't that a win anyway? So,
Yeah, I think Rusev is a guy who could definitely still work and do very well for himself.
Yeah, we joked about GFW, but if he went to GFW, he went to New Japan, he went to Ring of Honor, he'd still be fine.
Yeah, if you went to New Japan and Ring of Honor, you could do a lot worse than just go to Ring of Honor and New Japan.
Yeah, so he'll be fine. But it'll be a hell of a lot better than losing 10 seconds. Like Randy Orton's entrance was longer than this match.
Yeah,
the entrance.
That's a joke, man. Absolute joke.
Crazy. Sasha Banks and Alexa Bliss. Decent match again, pointless. No reason for this match at all. Sasha.
It's just tiring.
Yeah.
It's just another match in the card by this point.
We need to move through this real quick, so we're going to spend a bit of time on this. Finn Balor defeated Bray Wyatt. Finn's done.
Entrances were cool.
The entrances were amazing, but Finn is done, man. There's nothing here. And it kills me to say it because I love Finn, but there's nothing here. Nothing.
Finn it's not clicking.
No.
Honestly, the thing is that they've done nothing to help this character get over.
Yeah, nothing. He wrestles the exact same way. He looks the same. He comes out, does all the same moves.
The crazy thing is, in 1996, they were doing everything to try and get people over.
Yeah.
Everything. They would give them vignettes and everything. They would sink money into them. For Finn, they've done nothing. They've done nothing.
Here's the thing. Out of all the people on the roster, there's so much you can do with Finn. He's a creative guy. The character's so deep.
Finn sucks on the mic.
Yeah, he does.
But you can work around that.
But I heard someone describe Finn as a vanilla midget with no character. That's BS.
Anyone who comes up with an idea of taking out Irish mythology and mixing it in with comic book art, I don't think is a vanilla midget.
Yeah, I know. I when I heard that, I'm like, you know what, dude? You have no idea what you're talking about. You're just completely ignorant. The man's gimmick is based on Irish mythology. If you don't understand that, I'm sorry, but.
See, the thing is, people, whenever someone says vanilla midget, I'm like, oh, cool, are you Kevin Nash?
It's that was funny back in 1994. Yeah. But the thing about it is, it's that's not a term that you would throw at Finn. The thing about it is, it's the character itself is so nuanced that it needs that extra massaging. That just is not happening.
But so many of the guys in that roster could do with vignettes at this point.
Yeah, hold on. Remember when the Highlanders were a thing? They got vignettes.
Yeah. But the thing is that Neville could do it with vignettes. Neville could do it with merchandise too. But
but hold on. Every week they have 3 hours in Raw.
Yeah.
Why not have half an hour of that just be vignettes? In between matches, or spots, or interviews.
There's so much they could do with that format to make things better, but they just don't do it because they're just in a rush.
But match, random commercial, match, random commercial, random spot, talking spot, merch plug, match, end. That's really boring. It's also the same huge half an hour talking spot, match, break, match. That's not fun, it's not interesting, and no one gets over. Because in all those matches, no one's actually winning, no one's dominating. It's all 50-50.
Look how much the Fashion Files are helping Breezango get over.
Fantastic. Old school, silly, goofy vignettes, and that's what works because it gives characters.
It's given them and the Ascension something to do every week, and both those teams are coming out of it as being more entertaining than they've been the entire time they were on the main roster.
But here's the thing, dude, right? Like, yeah, we both love wrestling, right? We love in-ring competitive stuff. But wrestling is also entertainment.
Yeah.
And there's room for that goofy kind of stuff. Let's not go mad, but, people still love GTV. People still talk about the hardcore title vignettes. These kind of things were not necessarily in-ring classics, but they were interesting stories to people remember.
But don't bring up Al Snow's match against himself.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's one of the best matches of all time. But yeah, Finn and Bray Wyatt actually, it's like the Sting Undertaker thing. They didn't need to touch each other. They could have both just psyched each other out with really weird vignettes. Finn in Ireland, up at Tara, or just, surrounded by Celtic stuff.
At friggin' Newgrange.
And Newgrange, it writes itself. Yeah, he's home all the time. That's some cool stuff he could do and actually, literally be where, Balor is supposed to be, rather than just be awful on the mic, And Bray Wyatt, he has all that kind of character stuff built in. We've seen him do it before. But it just seems like the more they send out Finn to do what they're doing now, they'll kill the character and he'll be off the roster in a year.
Yeah, well, you know what? If the thing is that because the one thing that it's one thing even Daniel Bryan has said is that you look at the kind of money top draw talents are getting outside WWE, and it's not even like they're making a loss. Cody Rhodes has already said that he's making 3 times as much money.
Yeah, and he's over, and he's an established star,
But this is the thing, is that if Finn left, he'd be going back to ICW, which is bigger than when he left, going back to Progress, which is bigger than when he left, going back to OTT, which is way bigger than.
But dude, it's a shame though that WWE have someone like this who has legitimate pedigree, unmatched by anybody else in the on that roster right now except AJ Styles, and they're just doing nothing with it because they don't understand the character. And again, I go back to that comment by that guy who obviously does not understand it and represents probably a very ignorant viewpoint of someone who hasn't taken time to read a book. That's the truth.
You can't get everyone to read Irish folklore.
Why, it's awesome. No, but still, it is fantastic, And again, if they don't understand something, WWE should be there as the facilitator to explain it, I just don't understand why, because it's a cool story and they're just not telling it. It's funny. It's funny.
The closest it gets doing it is having Michael Cole tell you. That's not the same thing as showing them.
No, it's funny for storytellers, for a company that tells stories. They're really freaking bad at telling stories.
Yeah.
But we only have about 8 minutes left, so let's quickly jump to the main event. This was the high point.
Yes.
This was the high point of the show. What did you think?
Best main event of the year.
What did you think about this main event in general, other than the main event of the year?
So much fun.
The big guys just battering each other.
Yeah.
Old school.
I felt like Joe could have done more offense, but that was me.
Joe's made though. Joe is an established star now, and it's no shock.
Joe's definitely is dead set for being featured in main events from now on.
Yeah, and he deserves it. Joe.
Yeah.
But again, remember they have managed to put themselves in such a way that they're that he's taking seriously, and he has a character, has a gimmick, everybody knows what he's about, and he goes in there and kicks ass, and that's what all the other guys do. Braun Strowman, they built him up really, really well. Brock Lesnar's obviously Brock Lesnar, and Roman Reigns is in there because he's the guy. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was an ending to a very, very poor show, a very, very poor show.
Yeah, the thing is, I felt that way until I watched Triple Mania this weekend.
Yeah, okay. Well, tell me how that.
Triple Mania was, oh my god, Triple Mania was terrible.
Yeah.
It was genuinely bad. After I finished watching it, I went SummerSlam was long, but at least I can't really, the only thing I could say about matches was that they were boring, and that's not even the wrestler's fault. It's just, you have that many matches on a show, you're not going to be entertained by all of them.
I don't know. You thought it was just lazy?
Yeah. Well, and then there's also the incident with Sexy Star and her ruining her career.
What happened?
So she no-sold. She was in a four-way for the women's title, and she no-sold everyone's offense, including trash can shots to the head. And she won the match with an armbar, which she didn't release.
Right.
And finished his call, and she's continued to crank, and I mean actually shoot crank, and broke Rosemary's arm. So yeah.
That's the end of that.
Yeah.
Wow.
She broke her arm, deliberately did it. There's no if you go and look for the footage on it, you could go that was intentional. So yeah, I don't think she's going to be working for many other promotions. And if they do bring her in, they're going to be putting her against the toughest girls to shoot who can shoot back on her.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. That's not on, particularly in a sport where you're supposed to, or a work sport where you're supposed to be.
Well,
not
Rosemary
hurt
gave
somebody.
her arm because she trusted her to safely do an arm bar.
Yeah.
She broke her arm deliberately.
Yeah, that's not on. Well, she's done. That is the end of that, because that's just not on. That's horrific. It's absolutely horrific. Yeah. But we have come to the end of the show, Bryn. I tell you, the fastest hour of professional wrestling. We had so much to get through this week. It's absolutely crazy. But again, guys, if you want to check out all the shows, go over to our YouTube channel, WViDesk 2016. Of course, there's a link to our website there as well, and our Facebook page. Just search WViDesk on Facebook and give us a like, because that would be very much appreciated. It's the most direct way to contact us, and we are here on Phoenix 92.5 FM every single Monday at 11 p.m. Bryn, is there anything you'd like to plug before I let you go?
I can't think of anything off the top of my head, dude.
Okay, man. Well, again, I'm going to plug OSW Review. Those guys are fantastic. Fellow Irish lads, and they're hilarious. So go over to OSW Review and check them out. So until then, this has been the Rescue International Desk. We'll talk to you next week.
You're listening to Phoenix FM, community radio for Dublin 15.
You've earned your qualification. You've invested time and you've invested money. So how do you make your qualification speak for itself? Get listed on certified trades and professional